Hi, welcome to our business studies lesson. This is Mr. Kimani. We have been looking at the topic on home trade, and today I would like us to focus on documents used in home trade and also the stages in a business transaction. From the following diagram, you can see that we have a consumer paying for rice. The gentleman to the left has a bag of rice in his right hand, and in his left hand, he's extending some money. And we can see the lady on the right side who is now the seller reaching out to receive the payment. What we have in this image is an example of a business transaction taking place. We can therefore define a business transaction as the process of exchanging goods and services for cash or for a promise to pay at a later date. A business transaction is a deal between two or more people involving exchange of goods and services in terms of money. Cash transactions occur when a buyer pays for the goods on the spot. So we can say that a business transaction may take place on a cash basis, in which case goods are paid for before or on delivery, or a short while after delivery has been done. Credit transactions occurs when a buyer promises to pay for the goods at a later date. This means that a business transaction is taking place on credit basis when payment is made after a specified period from the date of delivery of the goods or the provision of the services. Obviously, there will have to be proof that a transaction has taken place. And this is where a business document comes in. A business document is a record which shows the nature of the transaction carried out. It gives evidence to a stage in the transfer of goods or provision of services from one party to another. We can also define a business document as a written record which gives evidence that trade or that a business transaction has taken place. I have mentioned that it will give evidence to a stage in the transfer of goods or provision of service. This means that business transactions takes place at various stages. And at every stage, there will be some documents that will be exchanged between the buyer and the seller. The first stage is the inquiry stage. An inquiry is a request by a prospective buyer for information on available goods and services. After receiving replies from the inquiries, a prospective buyer will study the terms and conditions stated in the replies and then may decide to buy the products. When he makes that decision, he will place an order. And this is the second stage, which is the order stage, that you have received the replies to your inquiries as a prospective buyer, and now you place an order to the seller. The third stage is the delivery of goods stage. This takes place after the seller has accepted the order and then prepares the goods for delivery to the buyer. And this can take place in three ways: that the seller can ask the buyer to collect the goods, or the seller can deliver the goods to the buyer using his or her own means of transport, and the other way is when the goods can be delivered to the buyer through a public transport. The fourth stage is the invoicing stage, and this stage involves the seller requesting or demanding for payment from the buyer for the goods or services delivered. And then finally, we move to the last stage, which is the payment stage. And this is the final stage of a business transaction, which takes place after the invoice has been received and ascertained to be correct, or where necessary, corrections made. It's now our time to test ourselves on that initial part of the lesson. Kindly write the responses in your exercise books.